Okay, we're on our way to go buy back an ATV that I used to own about 10 or 11 months ago. And y'all probably know what it is, but it's a surprise for those who don't. Got the trailer, got my borrowed truck, got the money. Let's go get it. Alright, we got it. Look familiar? She's back home. Quadzilla. I built this thing a year ago and put it on Facebook for sale, just kind of for fun. I didn't think anyone was actually going to buy it, and someone came out and bought it. Well, here we are, almost a year later, about 11 months later, and it popped back up for sale. And it was actually about 5 miles from my house, so naturally had to go and buy it. Now, it's a little rough. Pod lights are falling off. The plastic piece here is missing. The plastic piece there is missing. Someone cut the snorkel down and put plastic around it and duct tape for some reason. Only one of the vent tubes is here still. They broke the key off in the ignition, so it's stuck on the on position. So to start it, you got to plug this back in and then start it, and the battery is weak, so you have to jump it off. The plastics are broke here and here, and it's all coming off. All the bolts and zip ties are missing. There's a lot of snaps missing. Some wire zip tied up right there. Exhaust, it's a little loose. There's an axle seal leaking right there, but it still runs good. My snorkel kit's holding up really good. Seat's not ripped, which is good, you know. They've wire tied up the snorkel here. The carburetor is loose for whatever reason, so I have to fix that. Just give it a good once over. This is coming off. All the decals are missing. Said King Quad. Now, as I mentioned in the original video, the guy bought it for his girlfriend, and she plasti dipped it like a baby blue. Then somebody decided they wanted to paint it black, so it doesn't look nearly as good as it did. This used to be a really clean four-wheeler. So what we're going to do is a complete revival. I'm going to tear a lot of it apart and basically redo it, do a 2.0. There's some things I do different for sure, you know. I take it back, the seat actually is slightly ripped, but nothing I'm going to worry about. Yeah, basically just make it better, you know. There's some things I would do differently, and there's some things that didn't work. The speedometer never worked on it. The brakes never worked. I would like to find some new plastics and actually do it better. I don't think I mentioned this in the video I had. I actually did trim this off because this went down a lot farther. The fender flares, especially in the front, I trimmed those off, and that's fine. I do that the same. But as far as cutting the plastics like I did, I don't think I would do that again. I would try to either bend the brackets to make them just come out more, or fabricate something different for them. Or I have a couple ideas. I don't want to spoil anything, but I know that I can make it better than what I did. And the snorkel kit I made had a leak somewhere. I suspect it was in one of these. I glued it really good with extra glue and all that, but somewhere it had a leak because when you submerged it, you could hear it was just sucking in water and it started to spit and sputter. It wasn't real bad, but it was leaking. So that's something that I definitely want to fix. Like, look how far off this is, where it's supposed to go back here, and it's broke. This is completely broke off. Wheels and tires are still in good shape. The spacers are, you can see the spacers are still there. Right there. Okay, check this out. So the wheel nuts decided to back off, and instead of, tightening them down like you should and put a cotter pin in them, they decided to leave them loose and then put I assume this is probably the key tag ring that came off the four-wheeler, honestly, because it's missing. This side they actually did put a cotter pin in, but look how loose they left it. Like, look at that gap. Like, what are they doing, man? It's bad. So bad. Glad it's home. Gotta make it what it used to be. Actually even better. So stay tuned for a complete revival and update of Quadzilla, the world's first King Quad 300 that's been lifted, snorkeled, and it's on 29.5 Outlaw high lifter tires.